The Pyrenean Climate Change Observatory, OPCC, is the cross-border cooperation initiative of the Pyrenean Work Community, CTP. The observatory was founded in 2010 to study climate in the Pyrenees region, its impacts, and to propose measures to adapt. In order to do this, it works in a network and as a liaison between the scientific community, public administrations, and socio-economic sectors. Its last report revealed 10 challenges that the Pyrenees region faces in terms of climate change. Challenge 1. Preparing the population to face climate extremes. It is highly likely that torrential rains, severe droughts, heat waves and cold snaps will be more frequent and intense in the Pyrenees region over the course of this century. This will affect the health of its residents and will potentially influence ecosystems and socio-economic sectors. Challenge 2. Increasing security against natural risks. An increase in torrential rains, together with spring thaw and the melting of permafrost, could lead to a greater risk of flooding, landslides and avalanches. On the other extreme, droughts and heat waves Challenge 3. Assisting regional actors faced with water scarcity and droughts. Leading climate models predict an increase in the intensity and frequency of droughts. This will affect water resources in the Pyrenees region in terms of supply, quantity and quality, with considerable impacts on ecosystems and socio-economic sectors. Challenge 4. Guaranteeing the quality of surface and groundwater. Droughts and periods of low water reduce the flow of Pyrenean rivers, leading to an increase in the concentration of contaminants. Changes to rainfall patterns may also influence the quality of groundwater, as well as the process of replenishing aquifers. Challenge 5. Maintaining the tourism draw of the Pyrenees region. Greater variability in the thickness and duration of snow may present a challenge to ski resorts. The disappearance of emblematic animal species or glaciers may lead to a drop in tourist interest. However, temperature increases would extend the summer tourism season in the Pyrenees region, leaving it better positioned over sunny areas and beach destinations. Challenge 6. Facing changes in productivity and quality of crops and taking advantage of emerging opportunities. A reduction in frost periods and an increase in average temperatures may favour the expansion of crops that are uncommon in the Pyrenees region, such as those grown in the Mediterranean region. On the other hand, extreme weather events and the decreased availability of water could negatively affect other crops, especially rain-fed crops. Challenge 7. Anticipating irreversible changes to the landscape. Climate change is accelerating the degradation process of high-lying mountain glaciers, lakes and bogs. This, together with changes to the distribution of certain alpine animal species, forests and vegetation, is producing irreversible changes to typically Pyrenean landscapes. Challenge 8. Considering a possible loss of biodiversity and changes to ecosystems. Pyrenean ecosystems, which are characterized by a great richness of species, are particularly vulnerable to climate variations. Climate change contributes to a loss of biodiversity and the extinction of species, altering growth patterns, life cycles, and plant and animal distribution. Challenge 9. Adapting to imbalances in energy supply and demand. Increased rainfall variations, reduced river flows and changes to thawing cycles could negatively affect hydroelectric production capacity in the Pyrenees region. On the other hand, we can expect to see a decrease in demand for heating in the winter and an increase in demand for air conditioning in the summer. Challenge 10. Facing the increased spread of diseases, infestations and invasive species. Changes to distribution areas of certain crops and their increased vulnerability due to climate stress may lead to changes in distribution patterns and the spread of more common and emerging diseases. On the other hand, climate change may encourage new exotic species in the Pyrenees region. Climate change is close to us, both in space and time. It is happening now, and it is happening here. the impacts of climate change are positioned as a factor of added stress for current challenges, such as depopulation, abandonment of traditional agricultural activities, and a lack of employment opportunities. We as a society have a major, urgent challenge ahead of us: continuing to research climate change, drastically curbing emissions, and adapting to their consequences in the Pyrenees.